item number 17, draft amending the Burbank Municipal Code relating to film permits.
Good evening, Craig Varner, Police Captain. The purpose of this report is to provide follow-up to the issues and questions raised by the Council regarding the proposed amendments to the City's Film Permit Ordinance. The Council instructed staff to provide notice of the proposed amendments and to actively seek input from various media organizations regarding the changes. Council also requested for further explanation regarding the types of filming that would and would not require film permits under the new ordinance. A summary of the input received from various film-related organizations is included in your reports. In addition, we've prepared a list of frequently asked questions which provide information in response to specific hypothetical scenarios and indicate where a film permit would be required and where it would not. We've also provided a 10-city survey of local city film permit requirements and fees for your review. Public notice was provided regarding this issue and the proposed ordinance revisions and was published in the Burbank Leader on November 29th, December 3rd, and December 6th. Same information was also placed on the city's website and Channel 6. Staff also sent the draft ordinance to several local media companies for their input, including the California Film Commission, Film LA Incorporated, Warner Brothers, Disney, and NBC Universal. You also received an addendum to the December 9th staff report, giving you additional information and comments from NBC Universal. Council also requested a redline version that was included in your addendum, also marked December 29th. We also added the original modifications to the proposed amendment in your addendum. Those were included in the original staff report on November 18th. We won't go into all those changes, but they're there for your review. If you have any questions on those, I'll certainly answer those. We also include some additional comments and follow-up from the Burbank Fire Department staff regarding the definition and of studios. They've suggested that Council revise the definition of studio contained in Section 3-4-2002 to reflect the definition which is being used in draft statewide uniform fire and building standards for movie and TV production facilities. I won't go into all those definitions, but they are in your draft addendum. The other thing that's interesting about that is one of the comments from Film LA was that they suggested that we also use the same statewide uniform regarding studios. The fire department was also opposed to exempting filming on private property from the film permit requirements. Private property that's not designed for studio use presents many particular hazards, including inadequate exits, combustible materials, and etc. It's just this particular type of filming that needs oversight from the police and fire department, and without the permit process, we would not know exactly what filming is occurring in the city. That concludes my report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Councilmember Ramos.
Thank you. First, I'd just like to say that the only rush for this is that it's taken a year, but I'm actually not rushed to do it. The only thing I needed clarification is if someone could do a campaign commercial to put on one of the charter cable companies. And if that were the case, I think it was in everybody's best interest to get through that. But realistically, I've waited a year. I can wait another 3 months, whatever. And I have to say, with this second round, I'm more confused than I've ever been. And which brings me to the initial reason I even brought this up. I'm going through the frequently asked questions, and it says that council members, that would be me, would like to have an interview filmed in my office where handheld camera is used. The handheld camera contains a light source, and the viewer is holding a microphone. Is the film permit required? Under the existing film permit ordinance, yes. I was told no. Why was I told no? What did I do different when I made this request?
I don't know. I wasn't part of the original.
I asked 2 members of the city attorney's office and the film. I said, this is the scenario. And I was told over and over, and believe me, I probably talked to 3 attorneys from the city attorney's office. and someone from police department. But it's probably the way I'm framing it, so you got to help me here.
Okay.
I was contacted by an individual that was working for a national presidential campaign. They were flying into town. They said, we just wanted to bring a simple camera into your office and interview you so you could post it on the governor's website. And so I said, I'm not sure if I can do it at my city council office. Let me call the city attorney's office. I was told no. Then I asked another city attorney, was told no. Then called over and over and over again. So what is different?
Well, are you asking, were you told that you had to have a film permit?
You had to have a film
That's
permit
accurate.
and provide a certificate of insurance.
That's true.
So what am I doing different? What am I not understanding?
Well, in the scenario, if you're talking about number 2, you need a film permit under both of those scenarios, under both of those ordinances.
Oh, I'm reading this one. Under the existing film permit ordinance, yes, I'm reading it
You would need a
backwards.
film permit.
I need a permit. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So under both scenarios, you would need a film
Good.
permit.
I thought, what am I not understanding? It's the simplicity of how this answer is worded. Okay.
And the key, and again, I think what we tried to do is we tried to simplify the process a little bit and say, if you're only going to use a handheld camera and you're not using exclusive control over city property, you do not need a film permit.
Okay.
That is what the current proposed amendment is trying to suggest that we do. And I think that is what City Council thought was a good idea. And we would agree with that at this point.
Okay, great.
Vice Mayor Brick.
2 questions. You said a handheld. Does a tripod count?
Tripod would be fine if that's all it was. Where we have issues is when you start to bring in additional light sources that are going to cause problems for egress and ingress and possible safety hazards with lighting that is very hot. Those are when you would want the film permit process to kick in, and you would want the police department, you would want the fire department to oversee that to make sure that it's being done safely. We're not saying you can't do it. We're just saying you have to be involved in the film permit process because that is your review process. If you're saying you don't have to have a film permit, then you don't have a review process.
Okay, so are we talking on personal residential property or city property?
Both. If all you're doing is using a handheld camera, whether you're at home or you're on the public street or you're in your office, and all you're doing is using a handheld camera or with a tripod, you do not need a film permit for that. As long as you're not using exclusive control over city property.